Hi everyone. Thank you so much for having me, even though remotely. Apologies. I am based in Brazil, so it was a little bit tricky to join you live. But for me, it's truly an honor to be able to be part of this event that connects a lot of the climate work that is happening in the global south. And I'm going to be speaking to you about what's happening in Brazil. So once again, it's a pleasure to be here. Properly introducing myself, my name is Rhavena Madeira. I'm a Brazilian lawyer, and I lead the Center for Climate Crime Analysis, Investigation, and Case Building Strategy to fight illegal deforestation in the Amazon. And what we do in CCCA is that we basically apply criminal investigation and analysis methodology to building cases to fight climate destructive activities. So my goal here in my presentation is to basically talk from a civil society perspective how we can join efforts to advance the global climate justice movement and the biggest trends that are happening in Brazil. So just to setting up a little bit on the context, what we are seeing now in regards to biodiversity loss in Brazil, it's very scary. We are seeing the annual growth rate of deforestation in the Amazon being the highest that we've seen since 1995. So, and our current administration is also very delicate in that sense. So, the numerous challenges that we're facing now in regards to the environmental governance have been informing a lot of our strategy. And it's also important to say that climate litigation in itself in Brazil, it's very new. So the biggest case, the most important cases that we have are as recent as last year, and they are being advanced both by civil society but also public prosecutors, political parties, and they take a very clear approach of trying to use existing legislation to demonstrate the high vulnerability of those that already have limited access to life-sustaining resources to climate-induced risks and loss and damage. So this is what happens in Brazil. It holds a lot of synergy with climate litigation that happens in other countries of the global south as well. The biggest trends in regards to the outward-looking objective of combating ongoing environmental degradation, and on a doctrinal level, the use of a rights-based principle. So on that sense, I've wanted to comment a little bit on two important cases domestically. One of them was brought in June last year. It's against the government and against a specific measure that relaxed regulations on timber exports, and it basically facilitated illegal logging, which is a very pervasive issue in the Amazon. It has been for a while now, and now it's even more out of control because of the lack of monitoring. And the other case that we're following very close was brought in October last year, and it's a constitutional case against the state to reinstate anti-deforestation policies and resources that were slashed by our current administration. So this is the first time that the Supreme Court has been asked to address violations in our national climate change policy. So it's going to bring a very important precedent. And moving to the second part of my presentation, what I want to say is that we think that as important as it is to litigate government failure, it's also to hold private actors accountable for failing to adopt appropriate measures to avoid biodiversity loss and climate damage in their operations, such as those actors that are behind commodity-driven deforestation. And this is what we have tried to do when we helped suing the Brazil's biggest supermarket, which is controlled by a French group. So we helped building this case using the French due diligence law, and it basically aims at making this company stop trading with suppliers that are involved in illegal deforestation, ecosystem destruction, but also other different types of and very serious types of human rights abuses that we were able to find in their supply chain. And the evidence strategy there was that we've analyzed a large set of documents that involve land registers, remote sensing data, and beef transport records. And what we could see is that looking at only a small sample of the supply chain of the supermarket alone, we could see that there was a forest loss bigger than 120,000 hectares. So it is not reasonable that such a big corporate player does not have in place a correct and appropriate due diligence system. So this is a case that it's a casino case, which is ongoing now in France. And I think it's also an example of how civil society, an international network of civil society can work together and bring cases to ensure that large corporate actors know that their environmental and social recklessness will not go unpunished, which I'm sure is also what civil society in Indonesia aims to do as well. So this is why events like this, which help building the legal and institutional foundations for more direct climate change litigation, takes place, that they're so important. So once again, thank you so much for having me, and I will ask Stephen to include my email somewhere that you can find, and please feel free to reach out and hear more about our work and ask any questions. Thank you.